Hello students, in continuity of chapter 5, today we are going to discuss about leaf. All of you are aware about leaf, its arrangement, its function and its importance. If we talk about typical leaf, actually it is a green color, modified shoot of plant and aerial part, dissimilar exogenous lateral flattened outgrowth, and it borne on node on stem or at branches, and its main function is a specialized modified for photosynthesis process. As we know very well, through photosynthesis actually this process takes place in presence of sunlight in green leaves, and the carbohydrate or food is formed through this process photosynthesis, and that's why the leaf is very important organ in plant. It's a part of shoot system in plant, originated from shoot apical meristem. It means that in shoot region the topmost apical portion is having meristematic tissue which continuously divide into cell division take place. There leaf actually originated, and leaves are arranged in acropetal order. It means that the basal part of this axis where leaf develop first, and that's why they are larger, and above part, it means on the tip region, they develop or born later on, that's why they are smaller. This type of arrangement is known as acropetal order or acropetal fashion. Typical leaf possesses three parts: leaf base, that is basal region, petiole, so stalk-like structure, and lamina. It means that palm shape green color part leaflet, that is lamina. So this way typical leaf is divided into three parts or region: leaf base, petiole and lamina. Over and above these parts, leaf is attached with stem by leaf base, which may bear two small leaf-like structure. When these two small leaf-like structure, green in color, tiny in size, it is known as stipule. In leaf, in lamina region, the middle part, it possesses vein, which is known as midvein or main vein. The function of this vein in leaf or in leaf blade is actually transportation of water and minerals. This midvein or main vein is located in central region, and from this midvein or main vein lateral veins arises, and that's why it forms channel of transportation of water and minerals. Then from leaf, this is throughout the part of the plant. Arrangement of these veins and veinlets, which is arises from veins in lamina, this type of arrangement is known as venation. In this figure, we can study the structure of typical leaf. As we know, typical leaf, it possesses mainly three parts or regions, that is lamina, it means green part which possess chloroplast and responsible for photosynthesis. The basal region, leaf base is there, and in between leaf base and lamina region, petiole is there, that is stalk-like structure, connecting structure between lamina and leaf base. So lamina, petiole and leaf base, all three parts of typical leaf is clearly observed in this figure, as well as some other parts or regions like stipules, it means outgrowth like small leaf-like structure, green in color. Axillary bud is also observed in this figure. So this way, in higher plants, this type of leaf is present as the structure of typical leaf in plant. Venation. Venation is arrangement of vein and wellness in lamina or green part of the leaf or leaf blade. It is classified into two types on the basis of its arrangement. First is reticulate and second is parallel venation. Reticulate venation and parallel venation, if we try to compare both, the first point is that in reticulate venation vein leads form a network, but in parallel venation such a type of network like reticulate is absent. This is main difference between venation of reticulate and parallel type. In reticulate type of venation, veins are irregularly distributed, but in parallel venation, as the name suggests, these veins are arranged parallelly to one another. Third point, reticulate type of venation is observed in dicotyledon plant leaves. So many plants are there which are mentioned in dicotyledon plants, and some common examples are gram, pea, beans, mango and so many plants. In parallel venation, this type of venation is commonly observed in monocotyledon plants. Some common example of this monocotyledon plants are grass, then banana is also possess parallel venation, rice, wheat. This type of plants, they show venation of parallel type. So this way reticulate venation and parallel venation, if we compare, they are different from each other. In this figure, clearly we can compare between both type of venation, that is reticulate venation and parallel venation. The first feature is about reticulate venation. Here in lamina, we can clearly observe the central region which possesses mid vein or mean vein, and the other veinlets venation is actually one type of network like arrangement, and this arrangement is known as reticulate venation, and it is generally observed in dicotyledon plants. In second figure, it is about parallel venation, arrangement of venation of parallel type, where in the central region the mid vein or main vein is located, and both side, lateral side, other veins, veinlets, they are arranged actually parallel to each other. So by comparing both figure of reticulate venation and parallel venation, now we have clear idea about difference between both type of venation. Types of leaves. Leaves are mainly classified into two types. First is compound leaves and second simple leaves. Simple leaves are not further classified, but compound leaves, they are classified into two categories, that is pinnately compound leaves or pinnate compound leaves, and second palmately compound leaves. So the typical leaves is observed in various plants on the basis of their arrangement may be of compound type or simple type, and in compound type two possibilities are there, either pinnately compound leaves or palmately compound leaves. This leaf, the difference between simple, compound leaves. In simple type of leaf, leaf is having a single or undivided lamina, and this type of leaf is known as simple leaf. In simple leaf, incision, or we can say the cutting part, the surrounding the margin region, which is generally known as incision. This incision do not touch the midrib region. So, such a type of arrangement in which leaf is observed, leaves are known as simple leaf. Some examples, the plants like mango and guava, they possess this type of leaf known as simple leaf. In compound type leaves, it is different than simple leaf. When this incision of lamina, it is actually developed and reach up to the midrib region. It means that it develops inside and towards midrib region and breaking it into number of leaflets. It means that now this main leaf lamina, due to this incision, is divided into number of parts and this part is known as leaflets. So this way by incision development, this leaf actually is divided into leaflets. So this is difference between simple leaf and compound leaf. Compound leaf is furtherly classified into two types, pinnately compound leaves and palmately compound leaves. In first type, pinnately compound leaves, the arrangement of leaves or leaflets on main axis, rachis, it is actually feather shape. So generally this feather shape type of arrangement is observed in so many plants surrounding us, and one of this example is neem. Obviously all of you have seen this neem plant, and now you can compare by studying this topic, that is what is exactly pinnately compound leaves, its meaning and arrangement of leaflets on rachis or axis. Second type of compound leaf, that is palmately compound leaf. Palmately means palm shape. Here leaflets are attached at common point. It is different than pinnately compound leaf. In pinnate compound leaf, the arrangement of leaflets is actually look like feather shape because number of leaflets are arranged on common axis. But here in palmately compound leaves, these leaflets are arranged at common point. One of these example is silk cotton. So this way leaf is classified mainly into two types. First simple leaf and second compound leaf. Compound leaf further divided into two types, pinnately compound leaves and palmately compound leaves. This figure is giving us clear idea about simple leaf, compound leaf, and basically it's two type, pinnate and palmate type of compound leaf. In first figure you can see that is figure of simple leaf. Here in arrangement of simple leaf, so single lamina is arranged on main rachis or axis. The incision is not developed towards midrib regions. That's why this lamina is actually not further divided into leaflets like compound leaf. Second figure is about pinnately compound leaf. Here the incision of lamina reach up to midrib region, and this way it is divided into number of leaflets. So this arrangement it look like feather shape, that is pinnately compound leaf. In third figure, that is arrangement of palmately compound leaf. Here leaflets are not arranged like feather shape, but it's look like palm shape because this all leaflets are arranged on one common point of axis or rachis. So simple leaf, pinnate compound leaf and palmate compound leaf, they are different in their arrangement. Phyllotaxy, the arrangement of leaves on the stem or its branches, is commonly known as phyllotaxy. In plants on stem or branches which develop from stem, it possesses number of leaves, as you know very well. But actually, if we study about this arrangement, it show different patterns, and this arrangement is known as phyllotaxy. Mainly three type of phyllotaxis are observed: alternate type, opposite type, and whorl type. First type, alternate type of phyllotaxy. As the name suggests, the leaves are alternately arranged. A single leaf arises at each node, and commonly we can say one node, suppose right hand side node, leaf develop, then opposite side, left hand side, then again right hand side, left hand side. From nodular region, this way leaves arrange or develop, and that's why this pattern is known as alternate type of phyllotaxy, and it is generally observed in China rose. China rose means hibiscus, shoe flower. This plant is very common surrounding us. Second type is opposite type of phyllotaxy. Here a pair of leaves arises from each node. This is important point here. From single node one side, a pair of leaves arise from each node opposite to each other. In guava, this type of opposite type of phyllotaxy is observed. In first type, alternate type, leaves were arranged alternately, but here they are exactly arranged opposite to each other, and that's why this pattern is known as opposite type of phyllotaxy. Third type of phyllotaxy, that is whorl type of phyllotaxy. One point is important here: if more than two leaves arise at a node and form whorl like pattern or arrangement, this type of arrangement of leaves on stem or branches, it is known as whorl type of phyllotaxy. So not like alternate or opposite type, only one or two leaves arises from a single node, same node, but here more than two leaves arises at a nodal region, and whorl type arrangement is observed. This type of pattern of arrangement of leaves on its stem or branches, it means whorl type of phyllotaxy, is commonly observed in Australia. This plant is also known as a local name is a Saptaparni. Saptaparni means 7 leaves arises from a single nodular region, and that's why it's a one type of whorl type of phyllotaxy. This figure, now we can get clear idea about alternate, opposite and whorl type of phyllotaxy. First figure gives clear idea about alternate type of phyllotaxy, arrangement of leaves on stem or its branches. Here from one node only single leaf arises, and you can see here right side, then left side, right side, and then left side, and this arrangement, that's why it is known as alternate type of phyllotaxy. In next figure, second figure, that is opposite type of phyllotaxy. Here from nodular region on both sides, right hand side and left hand side, leaves arises, and the arrangement is actually in opposite direction, and that's why this phyllotaxy is known as opposite phyllotaxy. Third and last type, that is whorl type of phyllotaxy. Now you have clear idea about that. If more than two leaves arises from a common node, this pattern is known as whorl type of phyllotaxy. In this figure, now we can understand from single nodular region actually 4 leaves develop, and that's why this pattern is known as whorl phyllotaxy. So the arrangement of leaves on stem and in branches show different type of pattern of arrangement, and On the basis of this different type, it is divided into three types: alternate, opposite and whorled. Modifications of leaves. Main function of leaf is to carry out photosynthesis. But if leaf show other functions is other than photosynthesis, at that time we can say that these are modifications of leaves. Actually, leaves, they are oftenly modified to perform other function than photosynthesis. It means that for climbing or support or for storage of food or some other function, and at that time these all are known as modifications of leaves. In some plants, these leaves, they are converted into tendril for climbing purpose. Commonly it is observed in peas, or sometime also it is modified into spiny structure for defense in plants like cactus. So when they are converted into tendril like structure, it's actually long thread like structure, spirally coiled, and it facilitated that function of climbing in pea plant. In some plants, it like cactus, it is modified into spine like structure for defense or protection. In onion and garlic, the fleshy leaves, actually the part is leaf base, it is modified for purpose of storage of food, and that's why it become bulb shape. Actually it's a part of leaf, that is actually leaf base, it becomes fleshy and store food, and this modification is specially for storage of food in onion and garlic. In some other plant, some other type of modifications are observed. We talk about Australian acacia. In these plants, leaves are small and short lived, so they cannot fulfill the requirement of photosynthesis properly. So in this condition, the petiole of this leaf in this plant expand, it becomes green in color, and it can carry out photosynthesis. So in this type of condition where leaves are small, short lived and cannot fulfill the requirement of photosynthesis, at that time petiole is modified, expand like green leaf structure, and can synthesize food in plants. In some other plants, insectivore plants, and mainly in pitcher plant or Venus flytrap, they are also modified leaves. Insectivore plants, actually they fulfill the requirement of nutrition from some insects. Small insects are there, and when this insect they visit this particular plant, at that time to capture these insects for purpose of their nutrition requirement, these leaves are modified in some type of arrangement modification to facilitate this function. This figure gives us an idea clearly about modifications of leaf. In figure A, pea plant is there. Here in pea plants, the leaves are modified into tendril like structure. Clearly you can see a spirally coiled thread like structure, and it is required for climbing and support, and it is known as leaf tendril. In B figure, second figure, it is about plant cactus or cacti. Here leaves are modified into spines or spiny sharp structure for defense and protection purpose. Third figure, C figure, it is about onion, where the leaf base they become fleshy and carry out the function of storage of food. So this way, in pea plant the leaves are modified for climbing purpose, the modification is tendril. In cactus, it is modified into spines for protection purpose, and in plants like garlic and onion, the leaf base is modified and become fleshy for storage of food. Inflorescence. All of you have seen different type of flowers. If you try to observe this plants arrangement of flowers actually on the axis or rachis, then this type of different type of arrangement or patterns are observed. So this way, this arrangement of flowers on the floral axis is known as inflorescence. On one stalk or axis or rachis, so many flowers are arranged, and collectively this arrangement of flowers on axis or rachis, that is inflorescence. On the basis of their arrangement, this inflorescence is divided into two types, racemose and cymose type of inflorescence. In racemose type of inflorescence, the main axis continuously can carry out the process of growth, but in cymose type of inflorescence, main axis terminate in flower having limited growth. This is the main difference between racemose and cymose. In racemose type of inflorescence, flowers are borne laterally in an acropetal fashion. Now you have clearly an idea about what is acropetal fashion or succession. But in cymose type of inflorescence, flowers are borne in a basipetal succession. So that's why it is different than racemose type. In racemose type of inflorescence, some common example of plants, these are radish and mustard. In cymose type of inflorescence, some common examples are jasmines and bougainvillea. So basically inflorescence is divided into two types, racemose and cymose type of inflorescence. This picture, it gives us clear idea about both type of inflorescence. It means this. Now we can compare between racemose and cymose type of inflorescence. Here in racemose type of inflorescence, you can see the continuous development of flower take place, and it is in acropetal fashion. But in cymose type of inflorescence, that is different type of arrangement than racemose. Here main axis terminate in flower. So that's why when this main axis terminate into flower, it means that it show limited growth. So first figure, that is about racemose type of inflorescence, and second figure, that is about cymose type of inflorescence, and we can compare easily in between both type of inflorescences.